They said the Titans were mindless monsters. But the crumbling symbols beneath his fingers whispered a different story. It started in the archive's deepest corner, where they stored the reports no one wanted to remember. Kazu pried open a crate marked classified, destroyed, and the scent of ancient paper rose like a ghost. Inside were journals bound in cracked leather. Their pages, etched with an alien script the military had denied existed.
But it's not gibberish. There's a pattern, a language.
He spent sleepless nights filling translation charts, his theories growing with each deciphered symbol.
Troop movements, fallen soldiers, artillery strikes. They're not war chants, they're logs of our own attacks.
He cross-referenced the decoded entries with his knowledge of the war, and a horrifying pattern emerged. Every Titan counterstrike was a response to a human offensive.
We're the aggressors. The military knew, and they sent thousands to die anyway.
He had uncovered the first pages of a secret that could end the war. But he also knew, in this world, the truth was the most dangerous weapon of all. Driven by a desperate hope, Kazu took his partial translation to the weekly intelligence briefing, clutching the pages like a condemned man holding a pardon.
The Titans are mindless beasts, not scholars. Your gibberish translation is an insult to every soldier who died.
He didn't even glance at the journal. No one did.
2 years ago, Kazu had been a rising cryptographer until a failed decryption cost a battalion in the field. His career never recovered. They buried him in the archive, a place where failed officers were sent to be forgotten. But in that basement, forgotten crates held more sealed journals, dozens of them, each filled with the same cryptic script. He deciphered entry after entry, ambush coordinates, casualty lists, and a constant refrain: they burn the grove and call it victory. Cross-referencing with classified deployment orders, he saw the terrible truth. Every human attack matched a Titan log perfectly.
If I can prove this, I can end the war. No more pointless deaths.
But upstairs, the generals were still laughing. In their eyes, he was nothing but a failure chasing ghosts deep in the archive. Kazu deciphered a recurring symbol, a grove of ancient trees wrapped in protective wards.
It's not a base, it's a sanctuary. They're defending it like we'd defend our capital.
He pulled up a classified map and found it. Forward Operating Base Kale was built directly on that sacred ground.
They built an artillery battery on their most holy site. Every battle report is a confession.
Desperate and naive, he marched his evidence straight to General Voss's command center.
You again? I should have thrown you out of the service after your last failure.
Kazu laid out the decoded pages, pointing to the coordinates and the repeated Titan grievance.
If you ever speak of this again, I'll have you court-martialed and shot for treason. Now get out.
He didn't even read it. He already knew. The High Command is protecting something worse than the Titans.
He walked out, knowing he could never unknow the truth, and if he spoke again, they would kill him. That night, the heavy archive door slammed shut behind him like a prison cell closing. Kazu bypassed the restricted server, using an old admin password, his fingers flying over the keyboard.
The deployment orders for the last decade are hidden under routine supply manifests. Clever, but not clever enough.
He cross-referenced each decoded Titan entry with the official command logs. Every attack on the Grove matched an order signed by General Voss.
This isn't just a cover-up. It's a campaign of extermination, and Voss has been leading it for years.
He downloaded the files onto a portable drive, his hands trembling as the progress bar inched forward. With the proof in hand, he sat in the dim archive, staring at the stack of journals, still waiting to be read.
If they find out what I've taken, they'll kill me. But if I stop now, the killing never ends.
He pulled the first untouched journal from the crate, its cover still sealed with wax older than the war.
I have to finish the translation. The whole world needs to see what's in these pages.
Kazu carefully opened the third journal, its pages filled with a dense, sorrowful script unlike the earlier logs. The grove is ash. Our saplings are bones. The death song echoes unanswered. We are guardians and we are failing.
They're not soldiers, they're parents mourning children, and we're the ones who killed them.
He searched the stolen deployment database for the coordinates of Kale and found a file named Operation Silent Grasp. Objective: provoke Titan counterattack at Kale by shelling the Grove. Casualties: among 7th Battalion, acceptable for strategic effect.
Acceptable casualties. They sacrificed Captain Maeda's entire squad just to start a battle.
He mapped the operation to the massacre Maeda survived, the same one that broke her career and killed everyone under her command.
Maeda is the only one who might believe me. She lost everything to this lie.
He cross-referenced personnel files and found she was confined to quarters, awaiting a tribunal for cowardice. If he could reach her, they might have a chance. But leaving the archive meant stepping into a world that wanted him silenced. Captain Maeda sat alone in her sparse quarters, staring out the window at the rain as it blurred the lights of the base. The door clicked open, and Kazu stepped inside, pressing his back against it to ensure it was closed.
Who sent you? If this is another Voss lackey, I've already told you, I am not signing any confession.
I am Kazu, from the archive. Your squad didn't die in battle. They were sacrificed in Operation Silent Grasp.
Operation what? I've never heard of that. You are lying.
Kazu held out the stolen file, its red classified stamp visible even in the dim light.
This is a direct order from Voss. To shell the grove. My squad was the bait. Where did you get this? If you forged this, I'll break every bone in your body.
She grabbed the file and pages, her hands trembling, and ordered him out. But her voice broke.
She didn't say no. She didn't say yes. But for the first time, someone actually looked at the evidence.
Maeda sat at her terminal, using old codes to pull the mission logs from the day her squad was annihilated. Order from General Voss. 7th Battalion to advance through Sector Kale under cover of artillery barrage on target Grove. Resistance expected. Exploit resulting counterattack for strategic advantage.
They used my soldiers as bait. They wanted the Titans to kill them so they could justify another offensive.
When she confronted a command officer, the reply was a cold threat. The tribunal was still pending, and it could be made much worse.
I am already dead to them. The only way out is to make the truth louder than their lies.
She composed a message to the archive. The mission was a setup. I've seen my squad's files. Meet me at the old maintenance hall at 2200. In the surveillance center, Agent Saren's screen flagged the message. She watched the metadata stream and smiled.
A buried archivist and a disgraced captain sharing sensitive data. How? Theatrical.
Saren activated a surveillance protocol, flagging all movements of Kazu and Maeda. The trap was set.
I've just handed Saren the ammunition to destroy us both, but at least now we're fighting.
At 2200, the old maintenance hall stood silent, its broken lights flickering like dying stars.
You are still alive. Good. Show me everything.
Journals, translations, deployment orders, all on this drive. The original pages are in this satchel.
It's enough to bury them, but how do we get it out without being silenced? We copy the drive and leak it to the press. But we need access to a broadcast terminal.
Before they could plan further, klaxons erupted, red lights flooding the hall. Saren's voice echoed from the speakers.
Surrender the documents, and you might live. Resist, and I'll add treason to your charges.
Go. I'll draw them away. Meet me at the old outpost if you get out.
Kazu shoved the satchel through the vent and squeezed in, the metal cutting his arms as footsteps thundered below. Maeda vanished into the opposite corridor, her footsteps swallowed by chaos. They were fugitives now, but the truth was still in their hands. Dawn broke over an abandoned outpost, its walls riddled with bullet holes and silence.
You made it. I wasn't sure you'd get out of that hall.
Saren's forces will find this place in hours. We need a plan that isn't just running.
Leaking to the media failed before. The command owns the narrative. We need something they can't ignore.
Then, we take over the main broadcast station and send the translation out ourselves. Every screen, every channel.
It's suicide. But if we die doing it, at least the world will know why.
I know the patrol rotations. There's a blind spot during the night shift change.
They mapped routes, counted guards, and planned for a last stand that would either end the war or end them.
With my squad gone, there's nothing left for me, but this might redeem them.
By nightfall, they would walk into the lion's den, armed with only words and a desperate hope. In the outpost's quiet, Kazu deciphered the last sealed pages of the eldest journal its script more intricate than any before.
We are the keepers of the grove,
Where our young are born and our dead return. Your fire consumes our future.
It's their cradle and their grave, and we've been bombing it for a decade.
Maeda's hand froze over the map, her eyes widening as she recognized the coordinates from her mission briefing.
That's the exact target we were given. They didn't just use my squad. They made us commit genocide.
Every military action at Kale was an assault on their most sacred place. The Titans were only defending it.
They stared at the translation, the weight of 100,000 deaths pressing into the silence.
This changes nothing about our plan. It just makes it more urgent. The broadcast can't be just about cover-up. It has to show this.
Agreed. We'll read from this passage. Let the world hear what they've been killing for.
They finished their preparations as the sun dipped below the horizon, the pages of the lament tucked into the satchel, like a promise. Using Maeda's old security codes, they mapped every corridor and checkpoint of the broadcast station.
The shift change at midnight leaves the east entrance guarded by only 2 rookies. That's our window.
If I stumble over the words, the whole plan fails. But these pages are etched into me now.
I'll neutralize the guards. You get to the booth and start the broadcast. No hesitation.
Agent Saren's convoy screeched to a halt outside the abandoned outpost, floodlights slicing through the dark. Inside, Saren found their discarded notes, half-burned pages, and a map marked with the station layout.
They're going to broadcast. Alert all station personnel. Shoot on sight if they breach the perimeter.
Kazu and Maeda slipped out of the outpost's rear entrance, shadows against the tree line, as Saren's team breached the front.
We're out, but Saren knows. If we don't reach the station before her alert, we're dead.
The broadcast station loomed on the horizon, its antenna blinking red like a heartbeat. The race had begun. The station's barbed wire glinted in the moonlight. Maeda pressed a detonator into Kazu's palm.
Now, move while they're blind.
A fuel truck erupted in flames on the far side, drawing every guard's attention away from the fence. They ducked through a maintenance entrance, into a corridor that smelled of oil and rust. Around the corner, a lone guard appeared, his hand already reaching for his radio. Maeda moved like a ghost. 3 precise strikes, and the guard crumpled without a sound.
She's unstoppable. The broadcast booth is 2 halls down.
They reached the central building, and Pride opened the security door. But the moment it cracked, klaxons screamed to life. Saren's voice echoed over the intercom. Lockdown initiated. All units shoot on sight.
Forward. The booth is sealed, but we're inside. No going back now.
They rounded the corner and faced the sealed door. A cold steel slab with a blinking keypad. The last barrier to the broadcast booth.
Maeda's old code might still work. I need 60 seconds.
He slammed his palm into the keypad, bypassing circuits as heavy boots thundered in the corridor behind them. Maeda ripped a pipe from the wall and swung. Metal crunched bone, and the first guard folded.
Kazu, how long?
Give me 30. The encryption is ancient.
But then Saren's voice cut through the speakers, colder than the steel around them.
They're in Sector 4. No mercy. Burn them out.
Forget the seconds. Get in there and broadcast. I'll hold them until the signal goes out.
The keypad beeped green. The door hissed open, and Kazu lunged into the dark, leaving Maeda to face the storm alone. Kazu stumbled into the broadcast control room, banks of screens blinking to life as the door slammed shut and locked behind him. His hands flew across the console, flipping switches until the transmitter's low, rising hum filled the room. He jammed the data drive into the port, the translation file loading as the terminal flickered to life.
The frequency jammers are set. Once I start, Saren won't be able to block the signal.
Through the door, the clash of metal and defiant shouts echoed. Maeda's last stand against Saren's squad. A sharp, agonized scream cut through the static, then absolute silence. Kazu's hand shook over the broadcast button. Her voice still echoed in his head. The door shuddered under a heavy impact. Saren's voice, muffled but cold, ordered a breach.
I won't let your sacrifice be in vain, Maeda.
He slammed the broadcast switch down. Every screen in the room pulsed red. The signal was live.
People of the world, you've been lied to. The Titans are not mindless. They're guardians, and we attacked first.
The door exploded inward. Smoke and splinters flying as Saren stormed in, weapon raised.
Shut it down. Now, or I'll put a bullet through your skull.
For decades, our military has bombed their sacred grove, a place they call the cradle of their young.
Saren's finger tightened on the trigger. The muzzle inches from the back of his head.
The journals speak of children screaming in the flames, of a people begging for mercy we never gave.
On the monitors, the signal spread, city by city, base by base. The truth overrode every channel. Saren's hand trembled. For the first time, she heard the unedited words of those she hunted.
It's over. You've lost the only war you ever had, the war on truth.
The broadcast echoed across the globe. And in that room, the woman sent to silence him stood frozen. Saren's gun dipped, her fingers sliding off the trigger. She holstered it with a mechanical motion, eyes still fixed on the screens.
Take him alive. Secure the room. He's no use dead.
Rough hands cuffed him, twisting his arms behind his back. Kazu didn't flinch, his gaze still on the live monitors.
They can't stop it now. Every second, more people hear the truth.
On the monitors, the frequency waves spread from city to city, a pulse of undeniable truth.
It's done. Maeda's sacrifice wasn't wasted.
Saren watched him go, her jaw tight. For the first time, the orders she followed felt like chains. The broadcast signal surged through jammers, hijacking every public channel with the same relentless message. In barracks, mess halls, and command centers, silence fell as soldiers heard the words of the enemy for the first time. Kazu was thrown into a transport vehicle, but outside, the world was already changing. The broadcast swept across the front lines, crackling through every field radio and loudspeaker. A Titan commander raised one massive hand. The charging horde slowed, then stopped, their eyes searching the sky. In the command center, General Voss slammed his fist against the console, his face contorted with rage.
Jam it. Use every countermeasure. I don't care if you burn out the whole array.
But the signal had fragmented across a dozen frequencies, and no jamming protocol could silence it. Agent Saren stood at the back of the room, her gaze hollow as Voss's orders became frantic noise. In a cold detention cell, a shadowed voice demanded Kazu confess the journals were a hoax.
Check the pages. The script is authentic. You can't kill the truth anymore.
Across no man's land, the Titan forces halted. Soldiers lowered their rifles, staring at the enemy who no longer attacked. And in his cell, Kazu heard a distant, mournful cry. Not a war call, but a lament. The war had ended. Across the globe, news feeds showed General Voss being led from his command center in chains. The headlines screamed across every screen. War over. The truth revealed. In his cell, Kazu watched the broadcast on a guard's tablet, the guard's expression slowly shifting. A military spokesperson, voice cracking, declared the journals authentic, and the war a tragedy built on lies. Protests erupted in the capital, the people demanding justice for the millions sacrificed. The guard who had once sneered slid a cup of water through the bars. His eyes avoiding Kazu's, Kazu sat alone, his translated pages in hand. The same pages that had ended the war.
Maeda, we did it. It's truly over.
Outside, the world he had known crumbled. But in that cell, there was only silence and the weight of what he had done. The war ended not with a final battle, but with a stack of translated pages held in the hands of the one man they never thought to guard against. A clerk slid release papers across a metal desk. The war was over, and his actions were no longer crimes.
A signature. That's all it takes to erase months of hell.
The heavy gates groaned open, and Kazu stepped into daylight, blinking against the sun. He hadn't felt in weeks. A scattered crowd waited beyond the fence, some cheering, others shouting traitor.
They don't know whether to hate me or thank me. Maybe neither matters now.
He kept walking, gripping the stack of translated pages as if they were a life raft. A woman wept, holding a photo of a fallen soldier. Kazu met her eyes and gave a small nod.
This is all I have left of the truth, and somehow it's enough.
He walked away from the detention center, his silhouette small against the crumbling city skyline. The war had ended. And now, for the first time, he had to figure out what came after. He walked until the city noise faded, replaced by the hush of a makeshift cemetery. Rows of wooden markers stretched before him, each bearing a name and a date. He stopped before one, Captain Maeda Sato, for the truth.
She deserves more than a plank of wood. But this is what we fought for, the truth to matter.
From his satchel, he drew a single page, the Titan Lament, translated in his own hand. He knelt and laid it at the base of the marker, the words facing the sky.
The Grove's children are ash, and so are you, but the killing stops here.
For a long moment, he stayed there, the breeze lifting the edge of the paper.
It was enough. You were enough.
He rose, leaving the page behind, and walked back toward the ruined city, a little lighter. The archive was exactly as he'd left it, dust-choked, silent and heavy with the scent of old paper. He crossed to the crate that had held the sealed journals, its lid still crooked from the night he'd pried it open.
Everything started here. It's only right it ends here too.
One by one, he placed the original journals back inside, their cracked leather covers fitting together like pieces of a scar. On top, he laid his manuscript, the translation that had ended the war.
Sleep now. The war is over.
He turned and walked toward the door, his footsteps the only sound in the cathedral of forgotten reports. He left the door wide open, letting the light pour in behind him.
The truth doesn't need a keeper anymore. It can stand on its own.
He stepped into the broken world outside, carrying nothing but the weight of what he'd done and what he'd lost. The archive stood silent, its shelves empty of life, but heavy with the echo of everything that had happened there. The crate that had once sealed the truth now held it again, journals and manuscripts side by side. A shaft of sunlight fell through the high window, catching the edge of the translation pages. The ink seemed to glow, each line a testament to a war built on lies. Dust motes floated in the stillness, indifferent to the history that had been unearthed. These pages had unmade a war, not with bombs or armies, but with a language the dead had left behind. A single Titan journal lay open beside the manuscript, its ancient script now understood. The room held its breath, as if waiting for a new chapter that would never be written. Outside, the world would rebuild, the Titans would be heard, and the dead would rest. The war ended not with a final battle, but with a stack of translated pages held in the hands of the one man they never thought to guard against.